So, but yeah, no, just to
Okay.
I'm every once in a while I'll look to do it, but just walking in the woods and getting sweaty and bugs all over
Yeah.
me and stuff, that's really not my thing, you know.
That's my thing. He
All
knows
right, guys.
that.
Guys, I'm gonna kick this episode off. We have B Dog here as once again co-host, and we have Ryan showed up on an e-bike. It was pretty cool. Say hi, Ryan.
What's up?
All right, and then we have the wide angle lens up here. Everybody, look. It's a wide angle. All right, so I believe we wanted to cover a couple topics. So, yeah. On. All right, it's not live, so what? I'm just gonna edit it out.
I don't have the internet right now.
Oh,
we didn't
yeah.
get hooked up. I can't look anything
yeah.
up. I thought we were,
Just
Like,
kidding.
He was like whispering. To
God
me.
damn
Yeah,
it, Jamie.
I was trying to tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of goddamn it, Jamie, I'm pretty sure because I've gone back in time to watch old ones. I think I've watched every Rogan episode, every single one.
That's a lot.
Even when they're not good,
Yeah.
bro, I
Yeah.
watch them.
Well, the older ones, the the beginning ones before he even had a studio, Nick, like the original
Those are
ones.
wild, yeah.
He was in the fucking like a room,
Yeah.
like those fold-out chairs, like sitting in those, like
Yeah.
that was fucking great.
Terrible quality, everything.
It was weird It was weird watching it and then seeing the news start talking about it, more people talking about it, and thinking it was just my thing, but it wasn't just my thing.
All right, so I'm trying to think. So definitely the e-biking topic was great.
Mobile hotspots on. Sorry, I forgot about that.
We're
By
gonna
the
talk
way,
about the weed.
we're gonna get a modem. I think it's a modem. I think it's a router actually. We're gonna get a router for here so we can both get internet from it. But
Nice.
currently we run it with no. I was running it with no internet. He pulls shit up with that, but I got.
What about one of those like T-Mobile mobile things?
Cause I just don't want to pay the $50 a month because
That's fair.
I can run it from across the street. They'll let me
Okay.
run the internet.
Oh, cool.
So I just bring a cord in here.
There you go.
Did you see that in Lincoln they have a suspicious van issue?
Yeah, what's
I
going
saw
on
that.
with
Well,
that?
Okay.
and come to find out, like that's pretty commonplace at Lincoln Woods. Those weird ass people going down there. And
Well, they're picking Lincoln Woods because it's close
A lot of
proximity
wood.
to the city.
well, then nobody does anything. So did you see that? You read that article, right?
The police didn't do
The
anything.
police didn't do anything. They talked to the park ranger, and they just said, "Yeah, we see creepy shit all the time."
So why don't you enforce the law?
Because
Yo,
you can't. What? Not my job. Hashtag not my job. Classic. Right
we
there.
can't hear
Okay,
you.
all right.
All right. Brief description of what happened. What I heard from the first-hand account of that person or whatever was they see the gray van parked at like a camping spot because at Lincoln Woods you can rent like camping spots and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then they see a guy outside with his arms folded or something like looking around
Yeah.
while
Like-
there's a female in there screaming
And ruckus. Yep.
and ruckus in the van like moving around in some type of a struggle and then it takes off swiftly.
Right. Soon as the guy noticed they were being filmed, the guy kind of scrambled and took off. And there's
Yeah.
video of him leaving.
How do they not have the plate? Because
They do. They had the plate. You could see the plate. I don't know, the post that I saw. So someone cross posted it into the Lincoln thing also, but it was that some lady Alicia or something whatever,
Yeah.
and it showed the pictures. But the one last video, you see the back side of it. You could see the plate.
I heard they had somebody also like standing guard outside of the driver's side of the door
Yep.
or something to
Mhm.
make sure. Yeah, that's sketch.
Yeah, and then when that guy noticed they were being filmed, and he scurried in and took off.
I don't know why they would want to go to a park for that, rather like a side street or something. This is very odd. Or maybe they were on
Yeah.
they were on the go already and they pulled over at the. Also, the name Lincoln Woods. Remember there was like a rumor about a Sasquatch being there. Like, bro, blow me. Do you
Well,
remember that?
I gotta say, what's really
Well, it
weird
wouldn't be
about
surprised me. It's really easy to go in there and there's a bunch that are like hidden. You go through a bunch and little paths and then up in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah, all
Yes.
the trails, the little trails.
There's like kind of overgrown trails you can just about fit a car in,
Yeah.
and you're looking at it from the map and going on all trails. The map, all trails. There is a shitload of trails.
There's over
there.
7 miles of trails in there. So I went. Well, I hiked there a lot actually, but behind when you go past the main entrance where the Twin River side is, you take a left. There's a long road, and then there's a trail system that's unmarked,
Yeah.
but it's fully trail system. And I've done 6.7 miles. Just
Yeah, there's
those-
trails everywhere
Yep.
around there, and I don't think there's a really good map.
There's none. It's unmarked. It's unmarked trails. But I go there a lot. There's a lot of snakes.
But not even with the trails. Like, so if you go in on the
There's both
the Twin
sides.
River side, and you go in and you take a right, and you know that rock that people like rock climb on, whatever.
Yeah.
There's that little road down there. There's
Sunset
like
Trail.
seven different campground things or picnic places. I used to go down there and bring with the van, but I'd bring a couple dogs,
Yeah.
and I would go and I would have lunch there and let the dogs run around, and they could splash in the water because it was right at the coast. So, but You know, unless you're going down there specifically, and then it's like, whoa, what are you doing? Kind of, you know, like it's totally hidden from everything.
There's caves too in there, actually. In the deeper part of the woods, there's some small caves that you can go fit in.
They're
as well.
the ultimate smoke spot if you guys smoke, right?
I've smoked over there on top of the cave, actually. So there's a cave called Pond Cave that the rock climbers climb on over there.
Yeah.
And I've gone inside. Me and you have gone in there actually before. Remember?
Yes. What you were speaking about, Ryan, is called bouldering. Where you put a crash pad at the bottom.
Yeah.
Depending on how you look at it, it might
hilarious
it
watching
might be,
them do it.
Some people think
They're
it's
like,
cool.
fucking hardcore, bro.
It seems a little bit lame. I wanted to find a little rock that was only about 2 feet tall and just be humping it like this and holding it like I'm climbing it and not, just with a helmet and all that shit. But yeah, they put a crash pad at the bottom and they just kind of try to get up the rock. It's kind of crazy how they do it, but it is from a distance. If you're not into it, it does not look cool.
No,
it does not look cool.
No, but if I was them, I'd much rather practice like that than where the hell. I was watching some those videos bother the hell out of me. Like it make my legs tingle, my butthole pucker. Like I saw this lady not tied on to anything, like way up in the middle of a mountain, just like trying to get through this freaking thing, and like she got up, she got to another level. She's still in the middle of a mountain, but I'm like, yo.
Hey, B-Dog, show him the Mount Katahdin video.
Let's do that.
No, you the one that showed me the video of that girl in between? All right, play the video, please.
Let's play our intro video first for the audience.
Yes.
We haven't done that yet. Here's our little intro.
Yoink it. Here I am. Super genius. Elevator. Up the stairs.
Loving the Bluetooth headset.
With the statistics. On a mission. B-Dog. Don't call him by his real name. It's B-Dog, everybody. He's an expert. Whoa. It was nice and clean with that video.
We're in front of the bamboo stalks. That was fun. There we go.
That might be the name of it. May be edited out.
Okay.
I'm not sure because you're supposed to have a niche so people actually listen.
Yeah.
When it's a vague variety like that, it's impossible. If I do a niche, it would be better, but nobody wants to do 100 episodes on some niche. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's find the Mount. So have you ever heard of Mount Katahdin before?
Have not.
All right. So Mount Katahdin is the northern terminus. It's the beginning of the Appalachian Trail in the U.S.
Yep.
It's a massive mountain that you would never expect would be in New England, but it's in Maine. And it almost looks like Mount Everest from the top, but there's a section called the Knife's Edge where it's so thin you can only fit just about one person.
Oh, boy.
And they're lined up, and each side is thousands of feet below you.
Yep.
So let me pull up. I'll show you right now what that looks like.
What he's pulling up is a video of a woman having a panic attack on the knife's edge. And if you look to each side, and it's a GoPro, so it doesn't do it justice, but you can tell also with the dome lens of the GoPro, it is not a pretty sight to be climbing that, and she's freaking out a bit on there. Just so you know. How is the internet speed with my phone, buddy? Because
it's a little slow.
Come on, man.
I'm trying to see if I can find the one of the woman who was scared.
Oh yeah, like right there. Okay. So that's not. That sucks. Like I'm not into that either. But like the one that I was watching with this lady, she was like, there was nothing to grab onto. She's just on like the side of a rock, like 1,000 feet up in the air, like
I think
trying to.
It's a douche.
I think this is it right
Trying
here.
to like hold on by these little freaking things.
Hey,
It's wild.
I
Just
feel
do
like
it.
scoot this way so that camera
It's playing, you're
doesn't.
missing it.
Oh shit! Oh.
Stop it. Give me the
All
video,
right.
no video,
So
come here.
B-Dog,
Look at this.
Mount Katahdin.
Oh my God! Look at both
No
edges.
video here.
Why can I not see it that well?
Because she's looking down. She's like holding on to each side for dear life.
okay,
I see
I
it.
see.
Here, look at that.
Oh boy.
Each edge.
Fuck that. Oh, sorry. Language.
Is this the
No,
one
no,
where?
I swear. This is a swearing show.
There's
Fuck yeah.
Lisa attempting knife's edge.
See how they come down each?
Yeah.
Yeah,
on her ass.
Go
Well,
single
she's not
file.
What a
crying
view.
yet, so that's good.
Well, the woman who's
My
filming, I
phone's
think, is the one
ringing
who's
like
afraid.
hell in my
Is it?
pack.
Yeah.
Who the hell's calling me?
Is this the one where she has the panic attack? You know why it isn't? It's not because she had a male behind her.
Yeah, I was pushing her to go.
So you this was from 14 years
Let's
ago.
just do it. Let's see if I can find. I mean, he gets the idea too.
Ryan,
of what it looks like.
did you notice my business video behind me right here?
I was going to ask you what that was all about.
If you get a digital picture frame, you can
Here's
just
some good
upload a
pictures of
video
it.
to it, and then it'll just play in the background.
That's funny.
So just please, you gotta load it up. B. This is it. Okay. Not a single flat surface to step foot
Yeah,
on.
look at that. See, I love this kind of stuff. I've never hiked this mountain,
Wait,
but
you're telling me with your anxiety you would hike this?
I don't have a problem with nature. I have a problem with more anxiety of like impending doom. Like someone says, "Oh, on Tuesday I'm gonna fucking kill you." Like that. Oh, like that scares me. But like, nature. I love. I climb Wachusett
Yeah.
a lot.
Okay.
Wachusett's the closest mountain to Rhode Island. It's 2,000 feet. It's not bad, but I do that. I do Monadnock, Mount Watatic. I did recently, but they're nothing compared to this. This is a whole nother level.
I rode a motorcycle at the top of Mount Washington and did a wheelie up there.
See, that's awesome. You know what? Where I'm not afraid of the hiking, I am afraid of the motorcycles a bit, and he knows that I can't
right.
even get scared in the
Let's make a little clip here about the Mount Washington Auto Road. So I went up there last summer, did the Mount Washington Auto Road, and you actually, on certain days, you're driving into the clouds because it's so high up. Most of it has no guardrail. There's no trees, and if you're in the passenger seat and you're looking down, you just see a half mile down where your car would be tumble salting all the way down, and it'd be impending doom, as they would say. You took a motorcycle.
That last stretch. You could see the snow. It was the middle of the summer, but there was still snow up there, and
So
big drop off.
Hey, you notice how little deaths have been on the auto road? Because I was looking it up. There was like a death in the 70s, then one like 10 years ago from automobiles. People don't end up crashing on that road, and you can go each way. It's two ways, okay? Another thing is that when you go to Mount Washington Auto Road, they just go, okay, here's your little minivan. Cool, you're just a mom with some kids. All right, so on the way down, there's spots if you want to let your brakes cool off. I'm going...
My buddy had that problem. He had an old piece of crap Buick Skyhawk, and his brakes went, and he almost went careening down that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't even know how you're laughing at it, because I hate that shit. The thing is that, how do you know your brakes are heating up? Because you're inside the car, and you're not going to feel the heat, you know what I mean? If you see the smoke, maybe, but, like, what
Your
the
foot usually
fuck,
goes
dude?
to the floor. So he just jammed it in park.
I guess. All right, guys. So if you are losing your brakes down a hill and you're in an automatic vehicle, like all of us drive automatic vehicles, there's two things to do. Number one would probably be put the car in low gear, or like know, a lot of the shifters have like 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Try putting it in one of those first. It'll
We
slow you
should
down.
start off that way for sure.
And then the second thing would be the e-brake. Okay, the e-brake does not go through your brake cylinder, so your brakes are by hydraulic juice. Do you guys know this? Anybody know about brakes in cars?
I know that some of it's not just about the thing physically stopping the tire. Like you said, there's the juice inside that keeps it going, and it's got to be refilled.
Yeah, most of it's a cable, and it'll just lock the calipers shut. But his,
it's different.
If they're brake drums like this, like he had, it didn't matter.
So on a lot of cars, they'll have regular juice brakes, which is you put the pedal and it puts hydraulic fluid to the pads, expands them out, stops the vehicle, whatever, right? When they go, if somebody snipped your brake line or something, all the juice will come out. There's a separate lever for a brake that is on a cable, so it can't be screwed with by not having juice. And most of the times, it is a separate pad. So if those pads were to go, you have your own little pad. Keep in mind, it ain't going to be good brakes, but it's some brakes. You know what I mean? So if you're going down a hill, like I said, low gear if you can, and then e-brake if you can. Also, people don't realize this. They teach us in the military when you're driving the Humvees to keep going left and right and scattering it, like, because that way you think about, if you do enough of this, it's taking up even more distance to stop, and it's not going to completely stop you, but it helps a lot to aggressively turn your vehicle left
friction.
or right. Yeah, like a little bit of friction.
That's how you skate downhill.
What's up, B-Dog?
Did you ever hear about the original Jamestown Bridge? How people, I guess, would actually like get into horrible accidents because they were so afraid of falling off the edge. It was such a thin bridge with like such a small wall that they would veer into the oncoming traffic and smash each other.
I have not heard about this, but I could imagine if this is like the 50s or something, people haven't driven over bridges like that before.
Get wet. Yeah, the old one before they took it down. Let me find right now. I'll pull up an article about that. Actually, it was an interesting read for me.
Yes, well, you do that. I just wanted to let me get a question or two going here. I gotta say though, B-Dog, and I'll say it in front of Ryan because he's chill, but we got to figure out a way to pull up articles faster.
Yeah.
And not like we say, I'm gonna pull this article, and then we're all gonna be like, for a few minutes, like, wait.
No,
I mean,
no.
Also, you're on a computer. You're on a computer for work, right? I mean, you should
This
be
is it
pretty
right
quick.
here.
Also, Ryan, I forgot to tell you, I'll say it. I'll say it on break.
Okay.
I'll say it on break. All right, yeah, I got it, buddy. Oh, whoopsie. Change the HDMI input. I got 5 inputs and only 4 switches, so I got to change it. Bing bong.
Got to get another one in there.
All right, Jamestown Verrazano Bridge.
Yeah. This is the old one. Do you remember this one?
I was born in '92. I don't think I do. I wasn't driving.
When I was 89, but when I was a little kid, I remember still going over this. I remember the big gates. So this bridge.
Which one's the old one? So go the one on the left.
Steel one. The steel one.
So the one on the right
bars, the right
is newer.
That big steel bars.
Let's see. Date built was 1940. Weren't we a bit busy with something at that time?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, actually, no, the U.S. didn't go into World War II until 41, until after it was Pearl Harbor. That's when we got into World War II.
I don't know the exact dates,
Yeah.
but that's pretty quick to resolve a world conflict in 4 years from 41 to 45.
Nuclear bomb.
I wouldn't be
Pretty
referring
quick.
to what's going on now for the last 25 years, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we recently had a bike jam where they were. This is a cool topic. Would you go to the last one? What was it? The Animorph one or the Blood Tide? They had the horseshoe crab thing. It
not
was
sure.
it was just last month. We had a bike jam. So
I think I missed the last one. I was at the one before that.
the last
Maybe I
one.
did. I'm not.
It was the renamed Victory Day thing. That's why I'm saying it about
Oh
World
no,
War
I think
II.
I was there. Yeah.
That trans guy, Eli, did the presentation about the horseshoe crabs, and I didn't really. I guess it had to do with the bike jam because it was on Victory Day was the jam, but they were saying rename Victory Day.
Yeah, it's
to,
wild. It's actually VJ Day, Victory Over Japan Day.
Yes.
That's bananas that that Rhode Island still celebrates.
It's
that.
weird that it's the last. It's like it's weird because it's the
the only
last
state
state.
that does still.
It's the
Yeah.
last state to do it. Yeah, like we don't have a victory over Germany Day. You know what I mean? It's
right.
kind of weird.
It's like hell yeah.
I mean,
Japanese.
I'll take the holiday. You know.
Right.
Yes.
But it's
I'll take
wild.
the-
It's wild. Why are you off today?
But
oh,
the-
because we murdered a bunch of Japanese people.
The
Cool.
weird thing. So it does seem pretty fucked up today. The only way I could try to justify it is that I'm pretty sure, in Brent, you're a history buff, was that the Japanese that did the rape in Nanking? They were not good people back then.
Well,
Imperial Japan.
back then, the Japanese were actually on the same side, as the Axis of Evil with Hitler and Stalin and all them.
Okay.
So they also performed the unethical experiments like the Nazis did in World War II. They had the camps, the same kind of shit, all that, and they were so hell bent on winning that war that they didn't even surrender the first bomb. So.
And I believe that I think that was the only country to actually invade the U.S. Number one, Pearl Harbor. It wasn't really a land invasion. The real land invasion was the Alaskan invasion that nobody knows about. They sent a few thousand troops to Alaska, and they actually had firefights in Alaska with U.S. troops because Japan is such a close proximity to the Alaskan Peninsula.
I didn't know that.
I've been
Yeah, they
reading
actually-
some strange things, though. I have to look more into it. But about the Pearl Harbor, there's actually conspiracies that the U.S. had advanced knowledge of it and let it happen, similar to the 9/11 conspiracies.
Well,
and-
that's a recurring theme.
Well, I
huh?
think that's true, but they thought they were bluffing. I think or something
Possibly
like that.
because,
They didn't
I mean,
take the threat seriously.
They probably didn't even think that they could get planes that could fly that far
Right.
to Hawaii. But
Quick-
I work with this guy, and he was in his mid-50s, same way as him, and he's like, "No, you do one thing at a time. You do two things at once. You do them both half as good."
Wait, I just recorded. Say it again. What do you think we have? It's not a
ADHD.
What? And it's because I keep saying we got to stay on the topic. So
Well, no, it's like so. One of the traits of ADHD, it's like, ooh, something shiny, and right, and so every time, ooh, new topic, new
Well,
topic, and then just going down these tangents.
I think it would be weird. Dude, so this is gonna sound really fucked up. If like 50% of the people in the world have ADD or ADHD, wouldn't that be the norm? And the people that don't have it have something wrong with them. So maybe they shouldn't even be medicated. That's if there's any conspiracy I'm into, is being against ADD meds, because if that's how your brain is operating, because it's supposed to, because you're supposed to have a job where
well, they
you're
don't really work.
doing a million things.
I've taken all of them, and I'm not on anything right now. Cause
Well, are you
all they do-
diagnosed with
oh,
something?
Twice off the charts. I could show you the charts, like literal
well,
written
what
example.
did they say? You have ADD or ADHD or something, or what? Did they say?
Well, ADD and ADHD is pretty much the same thing, depending on how old you are or who you're talking to or whatever. But it was ADD, then it was ADD//ADHD, and now I just hear people say ADHD. And it's not like what you think of. Oh, the kid has ADHD, he just can't sit still. It's all kinds of different things. It's like a neuro. Your brain's just wired differently. They call it neurodivergent.
Yes, I'm familiar with the term. What do you think that I said? And it's a complicated thing to think about that. If so many people have this ailment, maybe that's the
I think that the biggest problem is everyone's self-diagnosing themselves. When you're
right.
watching TV and 70% of the ads are from pharmaceuticals. We instead of the doctors telling you, hey, this is what's wrong, here's what you should take. You're going into the doctors. Hey, I think this is wrong with me. What do you think? Like that's kind of backwards. And now everyone's on the spectrum. Everyone's ADHD. Everyone's depressed. They're just feeling. So some people, everyone can exhibit traits of it once in a while, and then doctors are more than happy to write you prescriptions and that kind of stuff. And on low doses, these ADHD medicines, and if you're not like upping the dose, you're not really getting into it. So if you're like on the low dose for like 10 years or whatever, you're just getting speed from your doctor. Your doctor's your plug.
If you look at the chemical composition of whatever Adderall is, the something
Amphetamine.
ends in amphetamine.
Well, they're called amphetamine
It
salts.
is an amphetamine.
The one, like Adderall, the generic firm, it'll say it says amphetamine salts,
Yes.
and it's speed. It's
It's no different than the regular amphetamine chemical that was originally prescribed for weight loss in the 50s. It's the
Right.
same chemical.
It's going to sound crazy. I kind of understand why everybody would do it, because why wouldn't you if there's all these incentives to be on amphetamines, which is going to make you feel a lot better? It's almost like, why would you not want to have insane caffeine every day if you could have it
Right,
for free
exactly. Well,
from your doctor?
Did you see Dave Portnoy on Joe Rogan talking about it? He takes Adderall every day.
I saw that episode,
and it helps him be sharper, and it will do that. I used to take it. When I used to take it, I used to like almost take it recreationally because it would give you a boost going out. Like you could go out drinking and drink, not get tired. Or if you're like, oh man, I got this deadline of work, I got this thing to do, you take one and it will focus you. But after a while, for me, it just made me clench my teeth, and I would have to up. And it's you're not supposed to stay on them because like your body is always building up a tolerance. So I would get up in the dose, and then it wouldn't work. And I'm like, well, I don't want to freaking
It's like
take
cigarettes,
crazy doses of
basically.
speed every day.
The cigarettes, you start with getting the buzz, and then after you get used to it, it just makes you fucking feel sick. Doesn't even do any
The most
buzz
successful
anymore.
people with ADHD figure out how to use their ADHD as a superpower.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's
Right.
what I'm trying to say. I don't think we should be saying that ADHD is this disorder.
No.
What I wanted to say was, I one time took an ADHD pill, and I call it the blue balls of death. It's the capsule with all the million blue balls in it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe how high it got me. Not in like a high like if you were to what I would imagine like heroin or coke to be. It was a high like I was ready to start small businesses, and I was
Yeah.
excited about getting them insurance. Like I wanted to learn about insurance, and I had a 3-hour phone call at night. I called them the blue balls of death, whatever that Adderall is. Somebody watching the live comment.
Well, there's a bunch of different there's a bunch of different flavors of them now. I feel it's been a while since I've been on, but
a cool thing I wanted to say is that we live well, at least I can only speak for myself. I live somewhat in the suburbs, and you were able to take your e-bike here,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. And I had actually met you, so we didn't realize this, but you kind of answered like an ad on a town page. And I had briefly met you before, and I didn't even realize it at a bike jam.
Yep.
So if people that don't know what a bike jam is, I'll tell you my story about how I got acclimated to it or how I found out about it. On Instagram, see a video saying PBJ, Providence Bike Jam, and I'm saying there's no way they really do this. Hundreds of people on bikes, they'll do costumes, they do themes and stuff. I remember I went to my first one and dressed as a snowman, and I'm in the city alone, and I'm parked my car and I'm riding to the bike jam, and people looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm dressed as Olaf or whatever.
well, I didn't recognize you because you're not in your one-piece spandex.
So
and,
when
and from what looked like a downhill ski helmet from the '80s with the big
So
tail and stuff.
I
So,
wear the triathlon helmet, and my thing says Lightspeed. I'm on the 4-wheel bike with
Yeah.
underglow and stuff, and I get the
hilarious.
speakers on. Yeah, it's cool. I love that bike. But yeah, so I have the 4-wheel bike that is actually a Nordic Track. I think I may have told you this, but
Is
this
that
was
what it
months
is?
ago. It's a Nordic Track made by the company that makes exercise equipment. They made a
Cool.
4-wheel bike. Don't know how. It doesn't have regular gears. The front crank expands to have a high gear,
Oh, like
and
a
it
snowmobile.
contracts. It's, I guess,
that's
I've
how
never
like the
seen it before.
snowmobile clutch or the CVT transmissions like a Nissan.
Okay, it's similar to a CVT,
Yeah.
but this is insane technology.
That's pretty
and it's
wild.
from the 80s. I can't believe they're doing this in the 80s. And then my girl's got the trike with the E-kit on it. I do the front wheel E-kit.
Yeah.
I don't do this complicated shit where they say, just take apart the crank with the tools you have in your
Yeah.
apartment and put the kit on so that when you pedal it, it'll do the pedal. No,
pedal assist,
She's
yeah.
got a throttle, dude. She just does the throttle when she wants the juice. That's it.
I've built a couple. I made a front wheel drive BMX, but where I just did the throttle. I converted this extra cycle long tail. I put a Bafang mid drive motor on it with all the sensors. Even when you shift the gears, it cut the motor off because on mid drive it puts a lot of strain on the drivetrain and the hubs. It doesn't matter, but you could blow out your whole cassette or freewheel or whatever if you're not careful with the mid drive
But
motors.
Brent, this man just used words we don't know.
Mid-drive, yeah.
I usually know all the words.
I mean, you're more into the bikes than I am. I had a couple bad experiences on some movable bikes before. You know?
Do I know about it? Don't you?
Yes, you do know about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story. But hey, real quick, some perks about having the e-bike. You're not paying car insurance. Like, what's the perk of it? Wintertime, is it rough?
No car insurance, no gas, no parking issues, no traffic, no construction, no nothing.
You can lane split. You know what's weird about bikes? There's no real heavy rules on it because you're basically a pedestrian.
Well,
right?
in Rhode Island, they're very, very, very bike friendly. You get the whole lane in Rhode Island. Now, I'm not a dick and I don't ride down the road in the middle of it, but if there's no shoulder, for sure, I'm going to take up that lane. But then also, they spend millions and millions of dollars on all these bike lanes and bike paths.
For the clip, please list the name of the model of your bike so we can put it on the screen.
So the bike I'm riding right now, it's a juiced Scorpion X, but I swapped out the controller for the Hyper Scorpion, so it's got more power.
That sounds like a Mortal Kombat character. Hyper Scorpion.
It's analog bicycles hate these kind of e-bikes because it looks more like a moped.
On bike paths, they sometimes get upset if you have a real motorcycle-looking e-bike because they think it's like a street bike or something, and people say,
they
"Fucking
do.
asshole."
Yeah, well, and then so it's all about the speed limit. You know, like I've had analog bicycles pass me on bike paths. You know, in their onesies and all that kind of stuff.
Analog bike. An analog bike, it just means no e-assist. It's just you're pedaling a
Yeah.
bike. It's a regular, like, standard bike. You know what I
Right,
mean? Okay, that's what analog is.
You know, I'm very respectful on the bike paths. You know, I'll like 15 miles an hour. When I see someone, I'll bring it down to a crawl, especially if there's kids. You know, like if everyone just had a level of respect, no one would be a problem. But I've also seen gas-powered scooters, dirt bikes. All kinds of, and those unicycles are the wildest ones. Those unicycles that do like 65.
The electric
Oh my God.
unicycle, I think Boston's getting infested with them right now. And dude, the guys are good at them, but they do wear the helmet and pads and shit.
I've seen them with full
fast.
motorcycle leathers.
Those are even dumber than the Segways.
And they're sitting there. Like I don't get it. I don't get
It's
it.
weird
Remember
because
Segways?
their
Remember
whole
those?
yeah, I remember Segway. Their whole body is leaning forward,
Yeah.
and there's nothing to catch them, but the bike will increase speed to catch them. You know what I mean? Dude, I know I had. Do you know I had that electric unicycle? I would do the clown
I've
thing with
seen
it.
them before, yeah.
It's
They're wild.
it was like the 2013 version though. They weren't quick at all, but I could ride the unicycle. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean, it's fun and it looks cool. But
I always thought it
geez.
was like a hoverboard or some kind of thing like that.
It's the same
Yeah.
technology. It's the same technology where whichever way you lean, it's going to go.
I don't
you
know how they stay on them. I guess they have really good suspensions, but
Oof.
still, you're just standing on them. You know, and
My dude, I think there's no suspension, but it catches you whichever way it goes. Like, the thing can't tip over because as soon as it leans one way, it catches you that way. Because I had the hoverboards and I had the unicycle, you know. But that's as soon as they came out. When they first came out, I got them when they were a big deal and they were expensive. You
Yeah.
know. Nowadays they got cheaper and all that shit. Okay, so bicycles. Do you? Oh, actually, I forgot to tell you. I did meet you initially at a bike jam. You do tow a trailer with the pup in
Yeah.
it? Or
Oh, yeah.
Is it a? I didn't even see. Is it a big dog? Is it a little dog?
oh,
I
he's
mean,
a big dog. He's about 90 pounds, 100 pounds.
That's big. It's big for a dog, but they don't go like. There's all music and loud shit at the bike jam. They don't freak out. They don't know what's going on.
No,
or
well,
what?
I mean, there's two good things in his favor. One, he's a rock solid dog. He loves everyone and everything and all the adventures. And I'm a dog trainer, so
Yeah, that's awesome.
we
You
get
get-
him used to it.
can
We
you
didn't
get-
just start off going to bike jam. You know, we start off nice and slow.
Could you give us a brief description of the breed or something so we can see what it looks like?
He's a mutt. He's a husky Akita Chow mix. Like 3 of the worst tempered dogs in the world, and he's the biggest, sweetest.
That sounds
boy.
like something on a menu at a ramen place.
Yeah.
Husky Akita Chow mix is
I guess-
something I would order.
I guess this kind of is what he would look like.
Well,
Let's see.
Akitas are bred to hunt bears. Chows are Japanese fighting dogs, and Siberian Huskies are bred to move 100 different miles every day.
Yeah.
So you put those together, and
Oh.
fortunately, I got like all the best qualities.
Do you?
Something like
Chows
this.
especially, they're known to be jerks. Huskies very independent. Akitas, if you train them well, they're good, but they can be a problem for sure.
Do you sleep in the bed with the dog?
No, I
Oh.
mean once in a while, but
You,
it's not.
you can if you want. I was just wondering because I just like to ask people because we always had an outside dog or a garage dog. I just thought it was weird because they don't hold dogs to the same standards as people. Where if I were to like if I went outside and took a shit in the grass and I am unable to wipe my ass, like I wouldn't want somebody to go cuddling with me after that. I understand the dog doesn't have a choice, but I just thought,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying it's even an issue if you do it. I mean,
Well,
but
it's
I was
also
wondering if that's what you
I
did.
do once in a while, but as soon as you do, you got to change the sheets
Yeah.
because it's not just their buttholes prints on
Yeah.
your butt, but also like the stuff from their feet. They're stepping in and stuff.
Yeah, that's the
It's-
thing. If you guys
it gets
have
all sandy and stuff.
especially bigger dogs, they love shitting and then not knowing where it is and stepping in it and not minding it
Not
at all.
caring.
The hair.
Or I've had dogs just pee on their feet,
yeah, and just walk
like
right in.
bro,
I've seen that.
like just sitting there and peeing on their front. Male dog peeing on his front feet. I'm like, bro,
My
what are you doing?
my dog growing up would do the move where he would pee and then he would walk right over the pee and then walk inside.
Yeah.
Like walk a step
Yeah.
right.
All they
right.
think is warm liquid.
Yeah.
Yes, that's all they think.
They just don't care. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking
Gross.
of that though, real quick,
What's up, buddy?
I went to the animal farm up in Bolton, Mass. yesterday, and they have live lynxes and bobcats there, and they're beautiful animals. They behave
So cool.
just like house cats, but oh my god, they smelled like cat piss
Oh
so
Hey,
bad.
What animals?
Bobcats and lynxes.
Are they in captivity? What are they?
It was at the animal farm, but we have them wild in Rhode Island. We have bobcats and
I
lynxes.
know.
I think you can get a lynx for a pet, can't you?
Maybe, but so here I have them on the thing if you want to see what they look like. That's what they look like. They're beautiful animals. They're like large cats. They behave very similar to house cats, but
Yep.
they smell just like a litter box, like cat piss.
They're
Like it
beautiful.
is so bad.
They're beautiful serial killers. Just
Oh
like
yeah,
house
but they're very
cats.
vicious. So we watched them feed them. They did like a live feeding show. They threw
Yeah.
the chicken in their pen and it was crazy. But one of them just stuck its ass right at me and just sprayed, just peed. Like, move. They're vicious animals.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. Also, what's weird about those, I think that they're solitary, so they go like. Besides mating, I think they're just alone all the time, no matter what. That's why cats kind of have that shit personality.
We have them in the woods here, and they show up. They're always alone, but they do show up people's yards and all that. There's the myth, the rumor that we do have cougars, mountain lions. They probably
Yeah.
are strays that come down from Vermont and Maine, but we have a lot of bobcats.
Do you do some type of dog training or something, or what's
yeah,
the deal with
yeah,
that?
I've been training dogs professionally for over 14 years now.
What do you train them for? Is it like for
Mostly behavior
personal?
behavior modification, rehabilitation, and general training. I don't do canine training, that kind of stuff. Of actually kind of the opposite. Like if someone gets in over their head and they get a high end working dog and they
Yeah.
need it like detuned and acting more like a pet. I'll help them
Oh.
kind of.
A good thing to do if you are with an unfamiliar dog and you usually get down its level and you grab it around its face and put your face in it.
That's like the
Oof,
best way to say hi to a dog. They love that.
Yeah,
So they usually.
especially pit bulls. Here. Pit bulls really.
Hey, what do you think about the pit bull thing? I wasn't. This was like a big deal like in '08, and I wasn't following it. But the thing about being racist towards pit bulls, because are you saying what do you think the deal is with the breed? And this is what I want to say before you say anything. I'm not a professional on animals, but besides the behavioral thing, they're always saying it's how you raise the dog. That's fine. The only thing I wanted to say is if you have a smaller
That's
dog,
not true.
if you have a well, I'm trying to just list both positions here. I probably don't think people should really be having aggressive pit bulls, but either way, if you have a smaller dog that accidentally bites you because you misbehaved or did something wrong, it probably won't kill you. The thing is that with a pit bull, if you think about how big their jaw is, if they make one mistake versus a little dog, that thing is going to rip you apart. You know what I mean? So they have a higher capacity for violence because they're just so much stronger. They just naturally have these muscles on their back. It's like ridiculous, right?
For sure. So the saving grace with the pit bull is so they basically it comes from London. Staffordshire Terrier, American Pit Bull Terrier, same, right? So and you had these mill workers, and at the end of the day, they would bring the family dog into the basement and they would fight them. It still goes on now. It was big. It was big in like Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Like that was a big thing.
There was
in the
dog
basement.
fighting in
Oh, yeah.
Woonsocket?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, for a long
I
time.
didn't know that.
Right. So back in the day, they didn't fight to the death. It was like right, wrong, or indifferent. I don't agree with any kind of pet sports like that at all. But they the owners would get into the ring and they would they would go and the dogs would fight, and when they would lock up, they would go up and they would pull them off, and they would go, and it wasn't to the death, and like, okay, now you're done, and you would bring the family dog home and dress the wounds, all that kind of stuff, or whatever. And before the competitions, I had to handle your dog, you had to handle my dog. I had to make sure that they weren't crazy and weren't going to like bite you and all that kind of stuff. So since the beginning of time, pit bulls have been bred to be very nice to humans, and but they're gamey and they aggressive towards other animals. That's the problem. It's with the other animals. When you get a pit bull that's going after people, there's probably something wrong with that particular pit bull, or it's a mix. It's typically a mix that are the biggest problems.
Why would a mixed pit bull? Don't you figure that when they mix it, it would slow down their aggressiveness?
So you were saying, so just like you were saying, you bred just like the German shepherds or Rottweilers or Caucasian, shepherds.
Yeah.
The Akitas, all these big ass dogs that will murder. Like those dogs are way capable of murder, but they're a lot. There's a lot more care and caution in the breeding. So any dog that exhibits, any pit bull that exhibits aggressive tendencies towards human would usually be culled and wouldn't be.
What does culled mean? To chop the nuts
Killed.
off?
Yeah.
No, murdered.
Wait, did you say culled?
Culled.
Yeah, Culled.
Why? That's a nicer way to say killed.
Yeah, I guess.
I never heard
Yeah.
of
They
this.
say
Well,
to
that's
animals,
like that's
yeah.
in the breeding, right? And that's what you're supposed to do, right? And
Well, I get a question that's kind of fucked up. So you
well,
believe?
let me just
Oh, yeah.
finish my thought on that, right? So because of that, pit bulls are they're like 10,000 times less likely to bite another human. But if they do, they're going to do like 10,000 times more damage. That's what they say. But they don't have a crazy locking jaw. They're about as strong as a German Shepherd. Their bite.
Wait.
It's not super powerful and doesn't lock on. It's just their tenacity.
So to summarize it, you think that because of their breed, they're more aggressive? Is that what you're saying?
They're more prone to so it's the bully breed. It's not just pit bulls. It's it's boxers, American bulldogs, British bulldogs. They're all like they're bully breeds. So they're going to be like the big tough guy, jock marine guy, kind of walking in. This is my place, right? And then they like to play and have fun. But if it goes the other way, they're like, hell yeah, I'll do that too. So I had to put. I had two of them, a pit bull mastiff mix and a game bred ready to murder pit bull. They both died last year. One was 10, one was 13 and a half.
Oh, at least they had a kind of a long.
Yeah,
life
they
there, I
did.
guess.
They had a rough start, but it was fine. And I could by the time I laid down the communication path through my program, got them acclimated, all kinds of stuff. These dogs, they could live with other dogs. I would have to make sure it was my responsibility. If an asshole dog comes in and is messing with one of these dogs, they would look at me as like, bro, if you don't do something, I'm about to. And if I wasn't paying attention, they would go after that dog. But,
If you believe the breed of a dog can affect its behavior, it's more likely to do stuff. Why don't you you don't think that a human's race would affect their ability to do stuff, like to say that certain races would be more aggressive?
Well, I mean, so saying that all pit bulls are aggressive, it's kind of like saying all Italian women are good cooks, right?
And
Some-
that is
some-
not
yeah,
true.
right.
Exactly.
Right. So breed, I especially nowadays, because there's very, very few and far between good breeders. Most breeders are breeding for cosmetic purposes, especially like the doodles and all that crap. Those are just mutts, and typically you get like the worst of both breeds, and now you got all kinds of behavior issues and stuff. So when you're talking about breeds, it's good to know where the breed's coming from and their tendencies, but that's not the be all and end all. Just like with people, you got to work with the dog in front of you. Every dog has their own personalities, right? Owning a dog, it's three aspects: creating an environment in which they can thrive, which is typically not a problem. And you got to do the training, but then there's also understanding the limitations of your dog, right? And not every rescue dog has been abused. Some dogs are just messed up, just like some people are, right? Like how many serial killers come from broken homes? A lot of them come from.
Almost all of them, right?
Not really. I mean,
I guess you're right, because when I think about BTK, complete regular home, and then it's just the AC's
Short
blown, so
circuit? All right.
yeah, the AC, so everything's still good here. Everything's still recording. That wasn't because of you. It was because the AC finally shit the bed. So just,
Oh damn, the AC broke.
oh no,
no, it didn't break. The fuse blew, but
Oh.
it's cool in here. Is anybody hot? We're good, right?
I'm fine.
not the second.
I know. If it heats up, I'll have them put the breaker back on. All right, everything's still recording. Like, why would that fuse affect the? They're on separate breakers. Anyway, the What the fuck? I was saying about the dog. Oh, that's what I want to say. So, do you? So you're actually you're an active dog trainer and you do behavioral training and stuff.
Yeah.
Does that is it how do you get paid by like the trick you teach them, or so for you're full time doing dog training, right?
Yep.
And it's a behavioral training, so that means, let me try to give like a scenario. You tell me if this is right. Somebody has a dog that is not good with their kid. They think it's going to bite the kid, or the dog won't in public. It keeps chasing other dogs, and you get it to not do that.
I mean, that's the goal, you know.
Is there a failure rate? Like, is there?
I mean, my program it's a lot like Tom Brady's camp, right? You can send your kid to Tom Brady camp. He's going to come back a better thrower, but is he going to be Tom Brady? Maybe, maybe not, right? So it depends. So like, just like with like some. If a dog is absolutely 100% convinced they want to bite, you can manage that through training and limitations and structure. But like I was saying before, one of the things you need to know is you have to know that dog's limitations. So if your dog, and then also the way a dog bites dictates a lot whether or not that dog can be safe in this planet or not.
Yeah, a lot of them do that quick let go. They do the nip, and
Well,
they go.
most bites are it's a communication. And a dog communicates really only one way, with their mouth. Right, so if it's another dog, you get a quick bite. It's not going to do anything to another dog, but we're like an orange, and their teeth are like a fork. So you can, just making contact, you'll have a puncture wound. So, oh my God, my dog bit me.
You know what I just thought of? You're right. The dogs always bite. The dog's never gotten mad and like punched you because they can't really make a fist and their arms don't work like. But a dog's never been like a.
Well, even a bite, like, so if a dog, the dog will communicate, and more times than not, the human doesn't see the they'll loose. That's all fine, good. Right before a dog bites, they suck in all the soft bits, and they get stiff. Anything stiff and side-eyed, the dog's telling you, watch it, bro. And if you do something, then that dog nails you and backs up. It's basically, I told you, knock it off. Now don't do it again. Now if you cross a threshold, then a dog decides they're going to grip and rip and punish you for something. That's a different problem. A dog like that could be a big problem.
What I would imagine your life being like as a dog trainer is, first of all, real quick, say, do you work for a company? Do you have health insurance? Are you working for yourself? What are you doing? Are you an entrepreneur? What is it?
I work for myself. My company is Chase Canine Services.
Is your day mostly like, so is it like strictly like, do you have an office girl, or are you like texting people saying, I can train your dog, having to schedule things, and you make your own schedule? Like, do you have to wake up?
No,
you have to wake up early, or what do you do?
It's basically with most of my work is in my facility. I take the dog in for I do private sessions, and I also take the dog in for full weeks of training in my place. So a typical day is I'll get up, we do rounds, have a little socialization time, then dogs will go away, and I'll pull them out for individual training, and then I'll get any administrative work stuff I have done, and then I'll do a couple cycles of that throughout the day.
This is going to sound so R-word, but I just see two things here. That you currently have the bicycle as a full-time mode of transportation. Does a client ever say, I can't make it, I got called into work, can you bring my dog somewhere? And you say, oh, I got a helmet for him on the bike?
No, they drop the dog off to me, and then they have when I bring the dog home, then I'll take it in the car, and we have a go home session.
Do you have like a facility? Like, is there a dog in it now? Like, or
yeah, I have a 3,800 square foot loft. It's like 40 by 80 plus a little bit more space. And
for everybody listening, that's very large, because like a 4-bedroom house is like 2,000 square feet, so that's a large facility. So that's how many times you got to do 2 to get to 38?
Yeah, and
like
12-foot ceilings.
Yeah, so 12 average homes are 8-foot ceilings, so 12 foot's like big. So
it's a pretty big place.
Is there really money in dog training though? Because these dogs every year, so owning a dog gets more expensive, because you can't buy the regular kibble now, because now the dogs have diets, and the dogs have ADD, and the dogs get anxiety pills. Now they have to do this training. Like, the standards keep getting higher and higher for dogs.
They're giving the dogs CBD.
Dog training, the dog industry, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and a lot of times, like, the last client I had, they two situations. So I have a little puppy that's with me now. He's about five months old, and the owner just does not have the time to do the things, and he doesn't want to create any problems, so he sends him to me. And then when he goes home, it's not going to be fully trained dog. There's no such thing as a fully trained dog. The owners, I teach them. I teach them the commands. I call it like a communication path, and then we get the routine going, and then it's up to the owners to take the reins and continue with the training and the communication and the structure and all that stuff.
So I'm assuming that so you do like house training so they don't poop and piss inside, right?
Yeah, that's the biggest pain in the ass, actually.
Do you you probably use a method where they do a doggy poop and then you get them and you put the dog's nose in the poop
Right.
to make them so that
Yeah, you smash their face right into it.
It's
funny, right? So first off, if you're gonna reprimand a dog don't do that. But if you're watching the dog go to the bathroom, that's the only time you can like correct him. And I usually yell, "Hey, no!" Maybe throw something on the ground, make something loud. It's all about changing the channel and getting their consciousness on you, so they can see. So you can try to disagree with that behavior without being disagreeable, right?
Yes.
So now, if you did take your dog and after the fact and mushed their face in it, right? They're gonna be like, "Holy shit, some bad shit happened here," right?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm never gonna go to the bathroom here again. Over here, probably.
Yeah.
Probably over here, but never here.
Yeah, they just think that you have.
Yeah.
They just think you have some weird
Yeah.
kink or some shit. They don't know because after they crap, that I don't think that they probably they have memory and shit.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they're thinking about I just crapped.
They don't
just came in.
understand what do you mean? I just went to the bathroom. What are you talking about? I can't go to the or whatever. Like it's you've missed. Like, so with training, like when you start training, like they talk about markers and the clickers, and you have to be on point with that communication. You have half a second to give good or bad input for a dog. So if they're doing something and you miss that window, don't bother.
I think what he's saying
Positive or negative.
with the clickers, I think what he's saying is that when you have a dog and they do something good, you go click and give them a treat. So
Right.
every time you click, it means good.
Right.
So it rewards a good behavior.
Teaching a dog to sit. As soon as their butt hits the ground, you click.
Yeah.
Do you know about Pavlov's bell or Pavlov's dog? That whole experiment that happened.
Yes, and I think
Not personally.
he's about to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about a not good dog story, but it is a dog story. Now, could you enlighten us, Pavlov? So I'm assuming it's something Russian.
There was the bell. It was a psychological experiment in the early 1900s where every time before the dog ate, he rang a bell, and the dog would salivate eventually just by hearing the bell because he associated the bell with food.
Patterns. They pick up on patterns.
Yeah.
Anytime I get up and start walking around and they can tell that I'm like getting ready to leave, they get all excited and go into their kennels because I always give them a little cookie before I leave. So they're like, "Oh, he's leaving. We're getting the stuff."
Hey, when he was saying Pavlov's dog, I thought you were saying the dog that went to space.
Oh, there was a dog. Yeah, the Russians did
Anita
send-
or Nikita or whatever its name
Yeah.
was, a female dog in the space. But okay, so yeah, but the point of Pavlov's dog was just saying that you can get a dog to salivate without showing it a steak because obviously they can't. They have brains. They can put two and two together. So yes, that's
What's your opinion on dog intelligence? I know that you probably.
all right. So I do this thing in my whole life. What you guys see often is me punching down, and I love punching down. You know what that is?
Yeah.
It's like shaming people below you but like and it's not like I'm trying to be mean. I just truly sometimes, if it's some type of constructive or intelligent conversation, I don't see anything wrong with it. I would never do it to the actual person to punch down to them. But if you ask me about my opinion on it, yeah, I don't think dogs are smart because they don't manipulate the environment. Yes, they do. All right, so I don't ever see a dog like understand the idea of like
Quantum physics.
insulation or like if you put a dog in a cage big enough, it does poopy in one corner, steps in it, and wonders why it's dirty. Okay,
So typically a dog won't do that. Only dogs that are made to like in kennel work to be part of their being made to lay in their own stuff, they'll do that out of like an abuse thing. They're like, fine, whatever. But given a choice, they make bathrooms. So going to the bathroom in your house, they're just making a bathroom behind your chair. That they don't understand that. What do you mean? This is just a place I can go to the bathroom. No big deal.
they don't understand it's taxable living space.
Right, exactly. So no, and it's up to you to say, hey, no, man, not right there, and the whole training stuff to get them to go outside. And some dogs are awesome at it, and some dogs are terrible at it, and it's super annoying when they're terrible.
What I thought was crazy is that we had a dog, and when we would put him in the kennel, he would be out a lot of time. But when he was kenneled, and it was a pretty big kennel, he would see us. It was just a little lock like this, no lock on it. Just if his paw would hit it, it would go up. Right? It was just a little thing that goes up. He would see us do it. He'd be watching my hand. Do it. Come up. Cool. He never attempted to just hit it. It's like, I'm not trying to be a dick. How can you be so fucking stupid? Right? It's like, don't you want to get out of this fucking cage? Like, open the fucking.
Yeah,
open the fucking
and then
thing.
I had a like a 14-month-old or 16-month-old golden retriever that would unlock everything and open doors. Right, so it's all in between, and I know other dogs that it's more about dogs are intelligent to a certain degree. They're not like they're not humans, but it's all about their level of consciousness. It's when they're in that adrenalized happy idiot state, like that kind of stuff. Those dogs, they like bound through life without a care in the world, and it's a lot like they're getting high on the chemicals created during the adrenaline dump of like, oh my god, new people, wah! Like I don't know how to handle this social situation, so I'm gonna do this and get high off that. It's a lot like someone like, oh, let's celebrate fucking shots, woo! Take my shirt off, spin around, yeah, ooh!
People definitely do that too. Do you need if I wanted to be a dog trainer, do I need to have a license? Do I need to be, I'm assuming insurance must be...
No, especially nowadays, right? A lot of people, they make 10 dogs sit and they call themselves a dog trainer. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So there's not like a daycare. I know if you want to run a home daycare...
any certificate is only worth the program it's like a college education, right? Like it's only as good as the school, and there aren't a lot of schools that are doing this. There are some certification stuff, but I learned by mentoring. I scout my ADHD brain. I was obsessed with it. I spent 17 years in the IT field and was bored, and I had a dog that passed away, and I got into rescue and that kind of stuff. I kind of had a natural thing with dogs, and then I piled on the education through books and videos and mentoring and taking training programs and that kind of stuff. And that's I tell my clients now, like you're not going to resonate 100% with my style. Like go see other trainers, and you're going to take bits and pieces that resonate with you, and you create your own human to dog kind of language and getting things done.
So to summarize it, if I wanted to start my own dog training academy, I wouldn't know what I was doing, but if I needed to, I wouldn't need a license. I would just need to convince people that I can train a dog to make them do what I want. If I want to do potty training or whatever. And then what is my day like? Like, am I waking up at 8 a.m. or 10 a.m.? Like, is it an early day? Is it a long day?
Yeah, like 8.
But how do you make your own schedule? Like you say, okay, 8, I get to the shop at 9.
I work and live out of this. I live and work out of the same place.
Okay, so like, how do you...
One of the reasons why my program is different than a lot of other people's is that I basically integrate my client dogs into my pack, right? So I treat them like they're my own dog. So there's no real distinction. Like the client's dogs don't stay here and my dogs are here. They're all everyone's all together.
I mean, this must be on your mind sometimes. Like, imagine if you get somebody's dog and they get mauled. Like, how do you break it to them? Like, hey, your dog. Like,
Yeah.
How do you protect against that?
Well,
shit?
I mean, so there's things in my contract before we start that say, dogs are dogs, dogs bite, things happen, basically. Fortunately, it hasn't really been an issue. But we've had some fights and some no serious injuries, but we've had some fights and some puncture wounds and stuff.
Has there ever been a dog fight that you had at your place where it was so good you kind of let it go and you almost like rooting them on or anything
No,
like
because
that?
they fight to the death. That's not cool.
Okay. Hey,
You watch a dog get disemboweled in front of you, and it's not fun.
I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, cool. I know what you're thinking about. Even this shit about dogs being dumb. I'm just
Yeah, I know.
I was going to say,
sure.
there's actually a correlation.
No, it's fine. Well, so people think that their dogs are fucking brilliant. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but like that. Oh, go get the red toy. Go get the blue toy. See, my dog understands English. No, your dog understands patterns, right? They picked up that when I say blue, that makes a different mouth noise than red, right? So like I tell people, when commands are markers are markers because they like cut through. Like we're like Charlie Brown's teacher to dogs. Right? Oh, come on, what do you want to say?
Yeah.
Sit, no, that kind of cuts through all that kind of stuff. So we want to talk like that. Now I say okay, or I say good as a positive marker. I could say banana hammock. As long as I say the same thing over and over again, the dog's going to recognize, oh, that mouth noise means this.
Yes, and also everybody does like, you want to go outside? You want to go? As long as you say something like, I'm an idiot.
Right,
You're like,
yeah.
okay, I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we have 5 communicators available to communicate with the dog. We typically only use 1 or 2, hand signals and mouth. But we can grab some treats, we can lure them, we can use our body language, and then we have the touch sensation. So we want to train down all those paths.
Yeah, I got you. Cool. All right, cool. So, I'm not. How do I say without being a dick? My life is like, to summarize my life, it's just I don't know how to say stuff without being a dick. can you answer the question of what is a day like as a dog trainer? Is it a grueling day? Are you in air conditioning? Are you texting clients while you're trying to pull on Tuggy to get them off the fucking thing? Like, is it overwhelming? What's the deal?
Being a small business owner, you have to wear all the different hats during the day, right? So, what was the first part of the question? I lost.
What is the day like? I'll do a real quick summary of a day that I've had at work. It's like, okay, 5:30 wake up, get in a vehicle, drive it to a certain place. It's very hot. There is no AC. Stand around, wait, drive another hour, get dirty, strapping shit down, wait for a call to come in, listen to podcasts while driving, and then do a couple other things, and then around 3 or 5 p.m. you're done with work. Like, that's basically a day.
So I'll get up first, and I'll get up and have my coffee, maybe watch a couple YouTube videos just to kind of set the tone, and then when I'm ready, I'll start doing the rounds, and I spend a good couple hours doing that. Let them go to the bathroom, take them for a walk, let them socialize, do some training, and then we have a quiet time, and that's when I get like my email stuff done and responding to clients, making phone calls.
Quiet times with the dogs too. Like, the dogs are quiet.
Yeah, we shut all the lights down. They go back in their rooms. Maybe we'll even put incense and some dog TV on YouTube.
That's funny.
Meditating
cool.
dogs.
Yeah, that stuff. I mean, that it sounds silly and hippy dippy whatever, but that holistic stuff really works.
But
you feed your dog. If you're feeding your dog O'Roy and you're having behavioral issues, it's just like you're giving your dog McDonald's every day. The dog needs better food.
But you've had a job with a boss before. Like, what does it compare to doing your own thing? Like, there's way more responsibility, but you're not answering to some guy. Like, how do you like it?
It's the hardest. The dogs is the easiest part of my day. It's trying to keep myself motivated, trying to make sure I'm doing all the things right, and I don't know anything about marketing and any of that stuff. So like I'm just tortured. A lot of that stuff is very torture for me, because when you're ADHD, you kind of focus on the shiny things and the stuff that's fun to do, and you put the other stuff aside. So.
I think you're right. It's the idea of switching gears and all that shit. Like, to keep switching throughout the day, switching what you're doing. What I was thinking is you must have to keep a log of, like, all right, Duke is able to shit good now, and you have to keep writing out he's shitting in the right spot, or this one mauled me again today. He mauled me today. You know what I mean?
It's funny. I used to have a spreadsheet and go through. We're going to work on this today, work on this. But now it's more. Once you get a certain level of consciousness with a dog, and you get that focus and motivation, the commands you can teach a dog that's focused and motivated to do something how to do pretty much anything within minutes. So I don't really worry about that. It's a lot about decompressing, getting to know them, getting to know what makes them tick, what do they like to do, how to get them to do what you want them to do.
One last dumb question about the dogs was, were you operating during COVID, and like, could you get COVID from a dog? Do you make them wear the doggy COVID mask?
Yeah, I did. Everyone had to have masks because they work so good. Yeah.
Yeah, you got me that time. They wore the doggy COVID mask.
Imagine just the dog's nose has the mask on the mouth.
And it's all.
You were able to operate through COVID, but couldn't the owners give their dog COVID and then give you COVID?
I don't know. I guess I don't know. I had COVID 3 times, so whatever. And I was twice after I got vaccinated. So.
Yeah.
Oh, cameras are. What, did you just shut something?
No, I didn't. I just shut my little.
Do it again. Was that a camera shutting off?
No, it was this dude.
All right, because camera shut. All right, cool. So. All right. Dogs are good for the dogs. So, we're talking about. All right, let's do a couple topics before we wrap this up.
We didn't do the weed topic.
Yeah, so we have cannabis topic we cover, and then I guess let's fly through these.
Okay.
I just have 2 things here that I feel like are cool little bonding sessions to get to know each other. I was gonna do your college experience. If you went to college, I kind of went to tech school. He went to URI, I believe.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. Yeah, we'll do a quick little, but just make it quick. You know what I mean? Just some stuff about college. I went to a tech school for video and audio production, and I guess that the stuff I learned, I don't feel like is worth the money that you put into it. But I mean, I kind of knew I wasn't going to be using that degree. It was either just go there or go right to work. So I think you would always obviously choose that. Did you do any college or anything?
Yeah, so I went to college for 1 year, and I majored in keg stands and bong rips.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
didn't go waste my money and go back.
Well, that-
and I started
Yeah.
I started a job as a security guard for the EMC Corporation. They're owned by Dell now, but they were like the Rolls Royce of data storage during the tech com.
Whoa, every kid.
Okay, if I was in high school and I put a movie on that I heard was gonna be funny, what kind of jokes would I want to hear? When I was so.
Yes, you've kind of introduced me to pop culture, and the big thing that I can't believe nobody's ever talked about was the Toxic Avenger films.
Oh my god.
And usually you and I don't agree on comedy. That shit is hilarious, especially watching it now.
Going in like 20 minutes.
Cool. All right, yeah, so we're gonna wrap up with weed. Wrap up weed then.
All right, we want to start.
I'll come back if you want, though. It's fun.
Oh yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
you can't. Well, you don't want to overexpose me.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you never know how the conversation's gonna go, but yeah, you're fucking awesome, Ryan. So,
Yeah.
hey, so just a history on cannabis here. We're currently living in a state where cannabis is legal. We've had stores for how long? Actually, we've had Massachusetts having cannabis stores for how long? 'Cause I rem-
2018 maybe.
I think Slater just had 12 years, 11 or 12 years.
Oh, because they've
That's a
been
while.
Medical's been
Medical,
legal
yeah.
since 2009.
Medical was first, and I think it's kind of recently we had recreational cannabis here. And it's kind of weird. Cannabis went from the area of we were in high school, and you can't. It's so taboo, and only the cool kids are smoking. To now, you go in a cannabis store, and there's a grandma with blue hair. She's like, I use this for my pain. I love. Are you smoking monkey kush too? I love
Yeah.
this shit. You know what I mean? So I feel like it. To me, I don't even smoke because I'm being drug tested. All these other reasons, but it's just lost some of its luster because now that everybody does it, gangsta, it ain't cool anymore. It was cool when only some people were doing it. Now everybody can do it. I'm all set. What do you guys think?
I don't think anyone really smokes weed to be cool. I think cigarettes people smoke to be cool.
You think it's the look of a cigarette? It looks cool sometimes when you're
Yeah.
at an event smoking a
Because
cigarette
weed's
outside.
more of like a medicine thing. So, I basically,
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I didn't like it when it was illegal. I think that people like myself are using it to better themselves and to help their bodies, I guess, maintain homeostasis, whatever, like stay
Yeah.
healthy. And to make it a crime to have it laced potentially with other drugs, to have to go see a drug dealer to get it, to have only one choice.
Yeah.
You can only get this one flower. I don't have none of this other shit. I think that's a lot better that you can now go to a state government-run store.
Well, that's a tangent
Pay the
altogether. I think
taxes.
all drugs should be legal.
That's another argument.
So
yeah.
I'll tell you, I like to break things down. So I'm not gonna say, I'm a bit of a hardcore anti-drug personal type guy. But hold on a second. So his thing. So wait, all drugs should be legal. Or tell me why. Like, you're your own. You're making your own decisions here. You're an adult. Why should
I mean,
another
you're
adult be able to
just
tell you what?
funding the violence in this country and funding like violence in other countries.
Cartels.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I thought about
and you
this a
don't
lot.
know what you're getting, and you have one cartel mad at the other cartel, so they taint their batch with a bunch of fentanyl and kill a bunch of people.
Yeah, so what Ryan is saying is that I understand what you guys are saying. Here's the deal. So right now we have
And I don't do hard drugs. Like I weed and mushrooms. I like fun drugs like that.
Cool.
I don't get crazy
drugs
with
that help you.
anything.
So what I've noticed about the hard drugs, the negative drugs, the drugs like even alcohol when it's over abused, like cocaine, heroin, all those, is that they numb your body. They make you less aware of what's going on around you, and they take you away from being a better person. But the mushrooms, the psychedelics, kind of open you up. They
Right.
get you more in touch with yourself. They make you more aware of the world
Well,
around
mushrooms
you.
have been part of every civilization since forever, or some sort of hallucinogen. They're finding like residue in all those old goblins and goblets or whatever.
The mummies in Egypt, they had residues of the psychedelic plants inside of them. Yep.
So what Ryan was saying was that all the illegal drugs now gets laced with fentanyl and stuff, right? Because we have Maker's Mark on the shelf there. I can
fentanyl,
guarantee you
man.
that nobody put fentanyl or pissed or put human excrement in the
Right.
Maker's Mark. Here's the deal with if the cartels are like Brent was saying, the cartels are fighting amongst each other and they'll fuck up each other's batches and shit with all this stuff. Here's the one thing that people don't realize about legalizing the drugs. So those Mexican cartels do not go away once you legalize them. Now what they're going to do is go to California, kidnap some kids, and show you a video of them being raped, and then say, okay, pay this ransom now that we don't do drugs anymore because they're legal. So there's always going to be an opposite force, just like Einstein, whoever
Well,
said that.
they're already
there's
doing-
no perfect system, but what it will do is it'll take the the violence in the neighborhoods away, because you'll be able to go to a legitimate place and not have to worry about, oh, am I going to get this sack that's tainted? Am I going to get murdered for it? Am I going to get mugged for my money while I'm on my way to my dealer?
The good thing you were saying about that is that you are right about this.
Or the
Now-
drive-bys and the gang fights between each other on whose
Yeah.
corners whose. Like, it'll do away with that kind of
So,
stuff.
Mick, what you said about the abductions and like the sex trafficking and all that, they're already doing that, but drugs and weapons are the #1 biggest industry. So you take away a huge industry from them, you're gonna not
Well, look-
cripple them, but you're gonna take away a good source of income.
And just look at the weed. Look at how. So we were talking about cannabis. I used to grow weed, and I still know a lot of growers, and they're having a really hard time getting rid of their stuff. So they can't sell the regular weed, so they have to like make edibles or process them for concentrates or some sort of niche to get their product out there. Just selling flower is not working out.
I gotcha. What I do like that you said, and I completely agree with you, because remember, it seems like I'm on one side. I like to list both sides. I was saying that thing about them going to other things to go get money and shit like that, like the abductions and stuff. But you're right that just like I was saying, that Maker's Mark is because it's by the Food and Drug Administration, whatever. It has oversight. They're not going to put poop in it. Where now, if you really have a party and you do go buy cannabis from a store, it's packaged nicely. It wasn't put in some
Sealed.
Mexican dude's ass. Like if you guys do coke, it was in a Mexican guy's
and
ass.
there's reports of them spraying cannabis with fentanyl to make it more powerful.
On the street, yes, they're doing that, and also they're mixing even unintentionally it. So let's say they're weighing the fentanyl on one scale and they're going to sell it to one guy, and they weigh the weed in the same scale, and it gets mixed in it, and they sell it to another guy. They don't even know that they're doing that. That's what I
Right.
mean.
That yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not too clean when he's not rubbing the scale.
No.
He's not like sanitizing the
Same.
scale.
No,
in
they're not
between.
doing that. They're just weighing all the drugs in the same scale. That's it.
Before we do a closing argument or anything, I want to say, you guys got any funny stories about when cannabis was illegal or going to buy it? Like you got to go, like you got to see my boy Jose in the city, bro, and you go there at night and you have to go buy the weed and everything.
One of my good friends, he used to hold you hostage in his house and make you watch him play video games for like an hour before he would sell you a quarter of fucking weed.
I dealt
It
with
drove you, and he was smart. He didn't want people in and out of his house. So if you went by and you'd be sitting there with 3 other random dudes, you're just sitting there and he was like the best Call of Duty player or some fighting game. Like he was like ranked 1400 out of millions of Call of Duty. You just see him just go fucking killing
Oh
everybody.
my god, I think I might know who this is.
Yeah, hold on. We're gonna go off the air in a second. We'll
Yeah.
see if it's the same guy.
Oh, yeah,
But I
and you'd be
just-
like, bro, can I just get my fucking sack and get the
think I
fuck
know
out of
who
here?
this is, dude.
We'll do some quick closing arguments. I want to say, so I think the whole thing about you being able to do the dogs is cool and shit. Being your own boss sounds awesome. I think a lot of people are afraid to take that leap to go be. Technically, I guess it might be like an entrepreneur or whatever, like a small business. But I think that's pretty effing cool and stuff. But yeah, you're a real cool, like agreeable guy, Ryan. You know what I mean? It was honestly, I really didn't know
Thanks,
you that
man.
well, but fucking awesome, dude.
Thanks
So,
for having me.
anything you want to
It's
say?
a lot of
Brad?
fun.
I think it was an awesome time. I learned a lot about dog training, and I'm definitely down to have it again.
Yeah,
Let's
I
do
did
it.
not know that he's doing dog training. I had no idea. So yeah. So all right, that was Ryan, everybody. So that was awesome, guys. So see you later then. All right, point at the camera. All right.